CNBC-TV18 presents the AI Dialogues in association with IBM.
Right. So, Vishy, while of course models do that learning, what are some of the risks when it comes to this multimodal AI being implemented? And now we are talking generative AI as well. What are some of the inherent risks when it comes to implementing some of these models that banks should watch out for, and how should they navigate this piece?
As we are stepping into use cases, the fundamental of AI is there's no one model which fits all. That's very, very clear, right? So it's not that a model A may work for bank A, but the same model A may not work for bank B because the data sources are different. And then further, model A could be used for a use case 1, but the same model will not be relevant, will not give the quantified and measurable outcome to the point what Venkat made for a use case 2. So you need a model B. And it just grows, it just sprawls. Just the way we have seen the sprawl of applications in the banking industry over a period of time. It started off with core banking and then mobile, internet, and fintech starting to adopt, building the ecosystem. So it just kept sprawling like tentacles, right? The tentacles was just spreading. Same way AI is going to go through the same thing. And it becomes most important piece is, I would say, the governance of this whole thing, right? Because when we go back to a highly regulated industry, regulated or non-regulated, doesn't matter. But when you go back to an industry, fundamentally, you're looking at 5 things. And I would say the 5 fingers of a hand from a risk standpoint. One is you're looking at explainability of the AI, right? If I inputted X, are you able to explain that if a Y inputted, will I get the same answer or a different answer? Are you able to explain the AI model and the data pipeline, both? So explainability becomes a very big challenge. The second is the robustness of the AI model itself, right? With a multi-model kind of use case, multi-model kind of an environment, robustness becomes big, and especially in our environment where we are living in, is because of the scale, right? So the model should be able to be as robust as it can. The third one is most important is the fairness, right? Is the model not biased, right? Because more often than not, if X applies for a personal loan in a bank or an auto loan or a home loan, right? And there is an AI engine which is there, and does it differentiate between a male versus a female, or between, assuming all the financial parameters were exactly the same, right? Or does it differentiate between in a marital status when 2 people apply, assuming all the financial parameters. So there should be fairness with zero bias. And then last but not the least, so much amount of information is there outside. How as a banker are you able to hold the privacy of that particular information of that consumer, right? And with the DPDP Act coming in. Now the greatness of it is we at IBM have kind of developed a platform, and recently the regulator in India also put up a circular in terms of how do you govern your multi-models in a bank, right? Are you able to go back and explain to your business and to the regulator that this is my governance model? And that's why we built on our Watson X platform, the dot governance, which fundamentally caters to this particular piece. So it's agnostic to any AI model or any use case. And that's the major risks which it takes care of, right? So you could have open source AI models, you could have LLMs, you could have SLMs, you could have open source meta model, or a Granite of IBM, or anyone Llama, but agnostic of the model, agnostic of the data sources, how are you able to go governance, right? So the governance becomes the foundational bed for you to go back and kind of allay all the risk which could come along with the AI.
Fantastic. Well, I also want to come to you, Ravindra, with how do you harness AI to ensure that you are different from what other players are doing, and any challenges you are facing on that front?
Compliance is always non-negotiable, so it has to be everything within the framework of compliance. I see this technology, AI, what we speak about, is as of now complementing and supplementing your human resources. From a customer point of view, the journey from the login till logout, what the experience the customer is having. So as of now, we have huge data, and we are trying to find out a lot of things around it. In the journey, where the client is having the best experience, where the client is facing challenges, where we can improve, where we can, enhance our capabilities to give better experience to customer. These are the areas where AI can be of quite help. Definitely, if he wants to execute a transaction, the time between the order and transaction should be reduced as much as possible. So these are the areas where we are trying to have the edge over our competition. And I believe AI can be of good help in these areas.
Let's talk about how each of you are measuring that ROI. What are the metrics that you are tracking? And when do you as a CFO feel that, yes, this investment was worth it and it's giving me a good bang for the buck?
Honest answer is I'm still not satisfied with the ROI which I've seen.
Venkat is never.
It is difficult to measure, especially when you're introducing new technologies on top of existing. So you need to be very clearly able to articulate what this new technology is able to deliver on top of the existing tool. We measure it based on business outcome and not what the tool has done. The tool can do whatever it is capable of doing, but at the end of the day, what is the business outcome?
But are you putting a monetary value to the business outcome?
Absolutely, because I'm paying monetary value for a license.
So any data that you can share with us? Have you seen 5x returns yet?
No, not yet. Definitely not. I will be lying if I say that. Definitely not 5x. What we push for in the organization is, again, focus on execution. I think we need to be very clear that these are tools which will help you in better execution. This is not a new strategy or anything. These are tools available, technological tools to help you execute your strategy better. Whether it's better customer service, faster service, newer products, understanding customers better. So there are two streams which we are working on. One is the predictive analysis piece, and the second one is scenario planning. More so in the planning and the forecasting area, which our planning department uses. Scenario planning, what we're using, again, the bedrock of all this is good data quality. Yeah. If that is incorrect, then outcomes can be. So with the assumption that data quality is clean, yeah, different scenarios are worked out, and we are trying that out for the first time now. And then we do a stress test of it. Because there's no point in scenario planning without stress testing it. And then finally, are we able to have a real-time adaptation of that tool to the changing scenarios? So that's one stream which is being tried out. The other one is the predictive analysis, where you use data to do customer behavior modeling. Right. There's a huge stream of data which flows through the banks in terms of where their spends are, what is the period in the month in which they spend, and who is the beneficiary. Today you can track everything. Is it for an EMI payment? And then you find out, okay, if he is making an EMI payment, why is it that the customer is not having the mortgage loan with us? How can we then go back and understand that and offer products which will, see, today all banks are fighting for the same wallet which is there. So these insights is what I look for in terms of measuring ROI. How can we use this to get better?
As you smiling, Vishy, do you see this human core changing anytime soon in the next decade or so? Do you think there'll be more AI and less humans interacting with customers?
I won't make that statement there itself. It's like kind of repositioning and reskilling our teams and humans, right? One is to the point what show me the ROI is, obviously everything has to be quantified and measured, right? So that's very, very clear. So yes, as long as a combination of this works, I think they will kind of interlace. We can't really say that there will be some areas where you would need human touch and human intervention. That's given, and there would be some which can be done by AI or any other process automation, right? Which is lesser productive, so that we can have the human intelligence do much more productive work, right? So they will coexist somewhere.
CNBC-TV18 presents the AI Dialogues in association with IBM.